Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Gather and Go, the podcast that helps you plan, promote, and lead better trips. I'm Brian Jewell. I'm your host. I am feeling festive and so glad to have you with me as we enter this holiday season. And of course, our promise to you is that we're going to do everything we can to make this investment of your time worth your while. Today, I have a really cool featured conversation for you with Dan Flores of Satisfi Labs. Dan is one of the tourism industry's leading voices about the future of tourism technology. He's going to tell us all about the rapid growth of artificial intelligence, how you can use those tools to grow your travel business, and why small tourism companies may stand to benefit the most from leveraging AI agents. This is super important content for anyone in tourism. I can't wait to share it with you. Before we get there, though, let's start with some travel news you may have missed. The Trump administration has jettisoned a Biden-era compensation plan for flight delays. The Department of Transportation announced recently it is withdrawing a proposal that would have required airlines to compensate travelers for canceled or delayed flights. Under the proposal, cash compensation would have been due to travelers who experienced delays longer than 3 hours on domestic flights, as well as flight cancellations that were the fault of the airline. According to the DOT, 4 of the major domestic airlines have said they will voluntarily compensate flyers for delays or cancellations. It's important to note, however, that this voluntary compensation won't be in the form of cash, but rather vouchers and frequent flyer miles. The withdrawal of this proposal comes during a period of extraordinary changes in the Department of Transportation. According to the DOT, the changes are in, quote, efforts to increase the number of air traffic controllers and create a state-of-the-art, brand new air control system. Well, now before we move on, I want to take a minute and share just a little bit of news from us. We have some fantastic familiarization tours coming up in 2026. Now, I've already told you about our on-site fam trip to Southern Louisiana. That one will be taking place March 19th through 23rd, and we are still accepting applications. So if you're interested in learning about that one, then please let us know. We would love to get your name on the list. But in addition to that, we have a number of exciting new fam opportunities scheduled for the first half of next year. Can I tell you about them now? No, I cannot, but I will be able to tell you very soon. However, there is something you can do to make sure you are the first one to find out about these fam opportunities. You can go right now to grouptravelleader.com/fams. That's where you can see listings of all our fam tour opportunities at any time. You can also see articles we've written on the dozens of fams that we have facilitated in the past. But while you're on that page, you can sign up for our fam notification list. When you do that, you will be the first to find out when we have new fam trips available. Now, all you have to do is give us your first name, last name, email address. It is super simple. And no, we're not going to spam you at that address, but we want you to know when we have trip opportunities so that you don't miss your chance to visit a destination that may become one of your new favorites. So go to grouptravelleader.com/fams. And don't worry, I'm going to put that link in the show notes to make it easy for you to find as well. Check out everything we have there. While you're there, sign up for the list. And within just a few weeks, you should start hearing about some of the great trip opportunities we have coming up. These are going to be trips you will not want to miss. Well, now it's just about time for us to move into our featured conversation with Dan Flores. As we do that, let me remind you, you can find a wrap-up of the most important things Dan had to say in the show notes for this episode. Show notes, of course, are the text that appear just below the audio player anywhere you're listening to this podcast. They also have their own page on our website. And in fact, you can find the show notes for the more than 85 podcast episodes that we've done anytime at grouptravelleader.com/podcast. And after the interview, I'm also going to come back and hit a few highlights of the things that Dan and I discussed just to make sure you don't miss them So make sure you stay tuned all the way through that. We'll be right back with Dan Flores. All right, everybody. My guest today is a 20-year tourism veteran who has become one of the industry's foremost voices on how technology and data are shaping the future of visitor engagement. He spent years working to grow flight-seeing companies in the Grand Canyon, Las Vegas, and the Hawaiian Islands. Today, he's the head of tourism at Satisfi Labs, where he helps destinations, attractions, and tour companies leverage AI technology to enhance guest interactions and drive sales. Dan Flores, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me. I like the intro sounded great. I don't think of it that way, but thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's amazing. You get in a couple decades in this business and all of a sudden people say he's an expert and you're like, wait, what?
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, I'm super glad to have you here. And I want to dive right into things. I saw a headline just the other day saying it's been 3 years since ChatGPT launched and kind of kickstarted this revolution in AI that some people kind of predicted was coming, but nobody was ready for it. I feel like, in 2022, it really did kind of revolutionize the world. What can you tell us about the past 3 years and how AI has progressed in that time?
I mean, it's moved faster than any other technology that we've seen in the past. And that's why I think that almost the extreme nature of us saying, hey, you can't wait on this stuff. It's because it's been moving faster than anything that we've seen. One of my favorite stats is, tech companies to 1 million users. I think Instagram was 90 days. And that was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And they had quite the head start, right? Mm-hmm. ChatGPT, when it dropped, it in 9.
Wow.
9 days. And when you look at like where the technology is when they dropped in November of 2022 to where it is today, launching multiple versions, multiple new companies coming up, technologies and applications that are being built on top of this technology. It is just moving at a pace, and we're seeing the adoption move at a pace that we've just never seen before. So yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible 3 years. And if you look at the stuff that we can do today, it's the worst it's ever going to be right now. And the advancements that, I'm using 20 different applications on a daily basis for really everything that I do. There's not one piece of work that comes across my desk that doesn't hit some sort of AI to it. That's incredible.
That is something I think a lot of our listeners are going to say, that's insane, because I just use ChatGPT to write emails for me that I don't want to write. But I never dreamed that I could be integrating it into almost every part of my day. So walk me through that a little bit. Give us some examples of how you're using these tools in your personal life, in your work life. How is it, legitimately saving you time, making you more effective or better at what you do?
Yeah, I'll start with work first, because essentially we talk a lot about your aha moment of when you get like obsessed with these tools. And for me, it was the first time that it actually took work off of my plate that I didn't want to do. I admittedly am awful at Excel. I do not like it. I have never liked it. I hate it. And it takes me probably 3 times as long to do anything in Excel than it should. The first time I used AI to actually write a quotient for me, was able to copy and paste it directly in, and it worked. And I went, oh, this is incredible. I never have to do this stuff again. That's when my journey started of just going, oh, what can I use this technology for? How many different areas of my day can I use it in? And I'll take a typical day now. I run the tourism division for Satisfi Labs. So we do a lot of the new business, the current business that we have, product work. If I'm researching a new company, let's say a tour company, and we have a demo pitch coming up, I will take that URL. I will put it into a tool called Notebook LM. I will have it I'll put a prompt into Notebook and say something along the lines of, Satisfi Labs is pitching this new tour company on ways that they can use the Satisfi Labs AI platform to make their business more efficient. Can you please put into a podcast 10, 15 minutes long, all the interesting things that we could bring up in a demo and show them to help make their business more efficiently? And then I will literally put my headphones in. It turns it into I put a casual tone on it.
Mm-hmm.
I want male, female, casual tone, and pull out all the interesting talking points that I could bring up in a demo and show them. And I will put that into my headphones and I'll listen to it while I walk the dog, while I'm outside doing something, or while I'm literally just sitting here working. As I get into that demo, I will walk into it and you'll be like, how did this guy know so much about our company? I took 10 minutes to do a little research. Now, I used to do that prior, but that would take hours of me reading through your websites, pulling all the information up, seeing where we could do this. I can do it in just seconds with an AI tool and then listen to it, which for me, I learn better that way, audioly. So that's a huge thing right there. Going through my emails on a personal basis. I just ran a marathon. I had ChatGPT actually produce a training program for me based on a bunch of information that I gave it. I had a really good time, which I was like, this is amazing. I didn't have to buy anything. I didn't have to consult a personal trainer. It can literally be in every single part of your life now, which is, kind of insane, but at the same time, very useful and efficient.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was over the Thanksgiving holiday, my wife was working on putting together a scavenger hunt for like our kids and nieces and nephews for Christmas. And she wanted to have it rhyming clues and all this stuff. And she's like, Brian, I think I've got the first clue down, but would you just can I read it to you and tell me what you think of it? And I said, hold on, Laura. You don't need to do any of this by hand. Let's just go to ChatGPT, ask it to create the scavenger hunt for us. And next thing you know, it did. I mean, it was, 10 seconds. It was a 10 clue scavenger hunt and it all rhymed and it had the names of our kids in it. And she's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, for sure. So many different ways to use it. But let's talk about travel in specific because travel is so tactile. It's so personal. It's so real time. How do you see AI shaping up to impact, let's say, a tour company or a travel professional who at the end of the day is still taking real people on a trip to see a real place?
I think there's a lot of use cases, and let's look at just from an operational efficiency side. People have questions. As simple as a company like what we do at Satisfi Labs, putting together a conversational AI platform to answer questions on your website or any channel that you're communicating with possible clients in, to where they can ask you anything about your business or the tours that you operate, any operational questions whenever they want, get the information instantly back. And then as you go on, by what people ask you, the platform gets better and better and better. At its first day, it'll still be probably one of the best employees you have from a customer service basis because you can set the tone, you can set the knowledge base of what it knows and what it can and can't answer, and it never takes time off. That's just one simple thing that you can do right now. Get it on your site. Most tour companies have some sort of whether it's one or two people answering the phones on a daily basis, or some have a full staff of call center agents. There's things that people ask repetitively over and over and over again that you can just automate that as it goes. As a sales tool, we know that people are more likely to ask an operational based question before they buy over 80% of the time. We have a toddler at home, and I ask questions of what I can do with her and what I can bring for her before I can buy anything. So if I'm going to go on your tour, your family, based tour, I'm going to need to know, can I bring the stroller? Can we bring our own outside food on this tour? You answer those two things immediately, I might be ready to buy right then.
Wow.
Now, if you look at like what the process is now, I either have to read your entire website, go find your FAQ page, see if it has the information, but you're making me do a lot of work. Or I have to pick up the phone. I have to call you. I have to hope that it's within your business hours. And then if it's not, because, I have a toddler, we don't do anything till 8:00 at night after she goes to bed.
Right.
If you're not there, I have to actually follow your prompt of like, okay, now let me send you an email or let me fill out this form online and then submit it and then wait for you to get back to me. That is a high friction process.
Yeah.
Where you want to lower that friction to then give me the best opportunity to buy like right then. And that's just real simple things that you can do like right now. Internally, you should be using AI to efficiently throughout every department that you have, whether it's a marketing department, whether it's your operations teams, communication, PR. These can all be enhanced right now, like instantly. And I think the biggest thing is I've been I think you mentioned it, 20 plus years in tourism. I've never worked for a company that had too many people.
Mm.
We're always short staffed.
Yeah.
Everyone always wears lots of hats. AI can be your assistant in every one of these departments today.
Yeah.
With just some time, some effort, maybe some innovation funds that you're like, could we help with this? If you hire summer interns or you have seasonal hires that go up and down that we know are tough every year, the training process, all of that can be level set right now with AI tools in our industry, that's why I think it's so important.
Yeah. Lots of potential there. You mentioned, an AI chatbot or some kind of digital assistant that people could use on your website, let's say, before they book with you. I know I've had experience with those chatbots that has left me pretty disappointed, pretty frustrated, especially the ones where it says, it just wants me to choose from a couple options. And it's not really listening to me. It's not really paying attention to what I'm saying. What do we do to fix that? In tourism, how do you get that chatbot on your site that is intelligent, that's actually going to parse out the meaning behind people's questions and give them meaningful answers and not just like, links to an irrelevant FAQ page?
Yeah, it's funny. The negative connotation around chatbots is real, but it's fastly going away. Mm. And the reason why is because generative AI has made that very easy. The past, and this is Satisfi Labs started in 2016. So we were building a lot of these chatbots. And the problem was you couldn't store that much data in one area to then cover every department or lots of different topics around your business in one chat container. So, as we got a little bit better at that, the idea for Satisfi Labs was we'd have individual assistants for each one of these things. And our first client was a baseball team. So if you think from it was actually the New York Mets, that you need a specific chatbot on parking, a specific chatbot on ticketing, a specific chatbot on food and beverage, just those like 3 assistants. And then what you had to do is just say, okay, your question now, which bucket do we put that in? With generative AI and what we're able to do now is the amount of knowledge that we can put into these containers it's massive. So now not only can they know a little bit about all these topics, they can know everything about every one of these topics. And the real secret sauce is on your side as the company is controlling what you want to answer and what you do not want to answer. Hmm. You'll never want to answer 100% of people's questions because people are weird and they ask weird stuff. And that's just fact. And what questions and what topics make the most sense for our business that is helpful in a conversational nature. So I don't feel like I'm talking to a chatbot. I feel like I'm having a conversation with something that's very knowledgeable, and it gets me my information like digitally when I want it, instantly. And then if I want that to pass to someone, I'm coming in with a lot of knowledge. Hopefully that whether it's a sales cycle or that conversation, whether it's a customer service issue, is actually cut down in time because you've answered the stuff that you wanted to answer. And now a human needs to get involved to put that special touch on, whether it's the resolution of something or the sales process.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, talk to me about how a travel company would go about training that agent on their website. I'm assuming you give it some of your internal materials or you have it read some pages on your website, but how does that process work? How does the agent learn all about my company to then be able to answer customer questions?
There's a couple ways. So, and I'll talk from a Satisfi Labs point of view on this because there is a build versus buy.
Okay.
What can I build myself and what do I need to bring in an expert company in to then build for us? Now, the way that we do this is that we will take all of the information from your website. We will take any internal documentation that you have. That can be training materials. That can be internal handbooks and tone guides, things that marketing puts together. And we'll put all this into what we call a knowledge container and build that out. Now, the real success of this is after we launch is the optimization of listening to what people are telling you. Chat data is zero-party data, which means your customers are willingly telling you what they want, what they need, the issues that they have. And then our job is we come in and we optimize that knowledge based on what people are asking you and what they want to know from you. So it continues to get better and better and better as we go on because we're listening to what people need. And then if you take that and you use that to go into like other departments, like if people are asking you about specific types of tours and things that you don't have or add-ons that you don't offer, we got product ideas there.
Yeah.
Right. I know I need to go out and get this. Or if they're asking about certain things that I can take and make that into a marketing campaign, it's probably going to convert higher than stuff that I think, because we're actually taking what customers are telling you and then you're using that to convert into like a marketing campaign. So if you're building it yourself, you can still do a lot of those things. But we like to say the 80% of the way there is really easy to do. The real magic happens in that last 20, which is that's where it gets really difficult. And when we talk about build versus buy, that's when we move into it. It's tough. This is probably something that you should buy. And with the low cost to entry now, these systems used to be really expensive. Well, it's gotten a lot easier. Now we don't have to focus on the first 80. We can really hone in on the last 20%, which makes our jobs a lot easier.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the hot word that I'm hearing now in AI circles is agentic. That's a little bit of a newfangled word, I guess, for the newfangled times we're living in. Explain to me what agentic AI is and what the opportunities are for people who are selling travel.
Yeah, it's funny. The terminology has changed so much, and it's like the very, very few people actually know the difference between when someone's saying like chatbots, assistants. Now you're getting into agents and what qualities are like agentic qualities to an agent. Essentially, the easiest way to look at this is agentic AI means that it can perform workflows and tasks for you. Now, I'll give a quick example. Like I had my boiler cleaned because I live in New England and we're getting winter is coming, and I have to get it cleaned every year. It's kind of a painstaking process. You have to call multiple companies, find the dates, fill out these forms online. They're not super tech savvy when it comes to their websites. I actually just went to agent mode in ChatGPT. I gave it a bunch of information about what I was looking for, what I wanted, and I sent it out to go perform this task for me, which was find a company and make a reservation. I put it all in. I went back to doing what I was doing for, it was like 5 hours, almost 6 hours later. I got the information. I got a text message from a local HVAC company here in Bristol, Rhode Island. And sure enough, it had made a reservation for me.
Yeah.
Now take that to travel. And what that means is that if I have a specific question and need to set up a meeting, let's say let's say it's a B2B thing and my company wants to use this tour company to provide, let's say a group outing for us. You can actually have it set questions back and forth to qualify that lead out. Once it qualifies the lead and I go, yeah, I would love to speak to someone about booking this. That's a high revenue opportunity. There might be someone specific on your team that doesn't take your FIT tour questions or, the general person that wants to book this, but they do high revenue stuff. It will sort that lead and send it directly to that person. That's creating a workflow and a task-driven agent that actually does things for you. That's a big difference between a chatbot just answering questions and then pointing you somewhere where then you have to go and do a bunch of things. So that's the easiest way to explain it.
Yeah.
And we are getting heavily into agentic agents that have workflows, tasks, OKRs, objectives, and key results. Because if you're going to hire this agent to do things for you, how do you measure its success? Just like a person would, you would give them goals. You would give them a job description of what they're supposed to do and what the results that you're looking for as a company should be. That's how these agents are being set up now. So that you can actually track that, all those different metrics, how many online leads is it creating for our company and so on.
Yeah. So let's talk about that example of the company that cleaned your boiler. I assume there is more than one company in Bristol that could have done that. So is it the case that the company that you ended up hiring through this agent had done some legwork ahead of time to make sure their system was able to take that AI reservation, and that maybe their competitors had not done that work and that's why they got the business from you? Or is that too simple?
No, and honestly, the reason why it took so long is because the agent had to go scrape all of the information off of all of the websites. It had to see who had forms that it could fill out for me. It was very simple. The name, email address, cell phone number, which my internal ChatGPT has that information already. I've already given it to. I did give it some prompts on what types of companies, how many to break this down into, and then where it should go. I gave it a date range that I wanted it to. So if there wasn't information on that, it would exclude them. Now in the future, and I say in the future because it's already happening now, but it's just not widely being used right now, is that agent, if you had an agent set up on your end, they could talk to each other in the background using what we call A-to-A technology and MCP servers. I don't want to get too far into the weeds because even people that know a lot about it go, I don't know how this all works. But that yes, if you had this set up, it would go there first and have that conversation because it's faster. Now, the reason why these tasks take so long is because it has to go out and find all of this information, read it all. And when I say read it all, it doesn't pick specifics. It just reads the entire website or everything that's out there on this, reviews, anything that it can find. Now, if there was an agent-to-agent tech involved, it can ask that agent specifically of hey, this is what I'm looking for. Do you have it? Yes, I have it. Here you go. It makes that process really fast and efficient. So when we started talking about agent-to-agent commerce, that's what we're getting to, is that this will happen a lot faster than it does now. You can give agent mode things now, and it might take days for it to come back to you because it's just, there's a lot of information to go through. If you can make that process easier and simpler, guess what will happen? We'll use it more.
Yeah.
And that's the adoption rate right now is because when we first started, it was can you help me write this email? And it bang, in seconds gave you something that was that's pretty good. That would have taken me X amount of time.
Right.
Now, if I would have said, give me this email, write me something, and it took 5 hours for it to come back, you're I could have done that in way less time than that. This is not helpful. So as these things get faster and faster, and that like process gets easier and easier, the adoption rate is going to skyrocket.
Yeah. So let's talk about that agent to agent future. Is it the case now where a tour company could go and hire a tech firm to build that agent on their side and kind of immediately be able to start taking agent to agent reservations, or do some other pieces have to fall into place first before we're ready to do that at scale?
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's possible right now, and a company like Satisfi Labs is someone that does things like that. Are we ready for wide-based agent to agent, bookings coming in? No. Even with the firms that are, your Expedias and your Booking.coms, the way that works right now, you can do it. It's still really kind of clunky. And there's some pieces that haven't fallen into place, but again, it's the worst it's ever going to be today. And it doesn't mean with the adoption rates that 12 months from now or 24 months from now, which is insane to say, that adoption rate is going to jump dramatically to the point where the way that we search for things today is very different than what we did 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Over I think it's like 70% of first search queries right now are going through some sort of AI mode first before it hits anything else, which from like a SEO, the way that we find and discover companies right now, it's already dramatically different than it was last year at this time.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about discoverability. You and I both came up through the time when you got business by getting the right keywords on your website and, optimizing your search engine results, and that brought in the leads. But I don't very often go past that first AI result when I Google something now, because 90% of the time it's right and it's helpful. So how should travel companies be thinking about discoverability these days? And do they need to change the way they build their websites, they architect their websites, they deliver information on their websites?
Yes. So what I don't want is, you don't need to abandon SEO right now. It's a hybrid mix of what's happening. And there's things that you can do internally right now, like structuring your data in a way like on the website that is very AI digestible, makes it easy for the large language models to find. Spreading that content across multiple channels, right, is another thing that you can do. Consistency. There's a thing called like EAT scores, like experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Like the more of that content that you're flooding into the market from you as the provider of these tours, the better off you're going to be. The more structured your information on the website is, the easier it is for us to grab it from a scraping tool and then pull it in. So that's stuff that you can do right now without having to do anything. There's things in the future that are going to make this a lot easier, custom GPTs, storing your information in what we call like MCP servers, and all that just gives the ability for large language models to grab the information like instantly, instead of having to scrape it all, digest it, read it, and then determine. So a lot of that is stuff that we can, do, and we're going to need to do moving into the future.
Yeah.
Like search right now is it's just really starting to get moving when it comes to AI, generative optimization, whatever you want. I've seen it like AEO or GEO, whatever you want to call it. We have to start making those steps now. You don't need to fully go that way. We have at Satisfi Labs, if you go to our website, it's different than probably anything that you've seen out there. It is just a conversation. So If you go to it, you can get to the classic site from there. But for the most part, it's going to start a conversation with you, make it really easy, almost ChatGPT style, to give you the information that you want. And then if you say, yeah, I would like to talk to Dan Flores. I heard him on a podcast and I want a demo from him. Like you can do that within the conversation of our website. So that's where we think this is moving towards.
Yeah, that is cool in a lot of ways. I do want to talk about the big scary side of this that people get all freaked out about, and that is job replacement. Do you see this AI technology being really disruptive in travel careers, or maybe putting those small tourism entrepreneurs out of business?
I actually see it doing the opposite.
Mm.
Now there's two things to that, right? Like our job positions going to be different. Yes. Are there some that's going to be eliminated because you don't need them anymore? Absolutely. Now, what you do with those people is, there's touch points that we talk about. There's all these things that were like, if I heard this 1,000 times in the last like couple of months, if I had time, I would do this. Okay, well now these people aren't doing the repetitive automated things that you've done now with AI. Can you put them on doing these things? What really wins in the future is having really good companies, really good process. That always stands out above any type of technology. Now, is that going to shake things up? 100%. Because I think that there's going to be companies that see the easy writing on the wall, which is, oh, we're going to slash out this department. Where I would say, yeah, you could slash out that department, but where could we put these people to then make our company and our service levels through the roof to be the best at what we do? That's who's going to win. Now, from a small tour operator or small entrepreneur, AI does the opposite. It actually gives you the opportunity. It democratizes scale. We're seeing more solo entrepreneurs build companies that they couldn't build in that time frame right now, are becoming literally like millionaires within such a small amount of time because they can use AI to build all these things. They don't have to have the cash flow to then hire all of these people to do it. They can do a lot of it on their own. It makes 2 people, 3 people, 5, 6 people operations can operate if they had 18, 20, 25 people.
Wow.
That actually gives, I think, smaller companies such a big opportunity to then go up against some of the big guys that are out there that just throw money at problems now. And they go, oh, we'll just hire a bunch of people to go do this stuff. These companies now that say, all right, let's put an AI workflow or process together to make my team of 6 unstoppable or feel like it's 25 people. That's pretty cool, especially when you look at like the travel industry as a whole are being a lot of small to medium sized companies. We all know the big guys that like run everything, right? But there's only a handful of those. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of small to medium sized businesses that now can operate like they're 3 or 4 times the size.
Yeah. I love that idea of democratizing scale. That's good news for our industry. And I hope people will take all of this to heart and take advantage of it. Dan, what's the best place for people to follow you, find you, learn more about Satisfi Labs and how they might be able to work with you?
Yeah. Our website, satisfilabs.com. You can get to any one of myself or any other departments and team members. On LinkedIn, I try to get to most of the questions that come through on the messaging side. So please reach out to me. And we would love to talk to you about how to help. There's a lot of information on the website and that we provide to tour operators of what questions that you should ask AI vendors when vetting them.
Yeah.
When do I build versus when do I buy? And I'm very open to helping any type of tourism business on hey, what tools should we be using? What tools do you guys use? I think that's always helpful. Now you need to go out there and like test and kind of play around. Like I use an AI deck builder that is one of my favorites, but there's like 10 really good ones. This one was just the easiest and first one that I found that was user friendly, and I really like it. So I'm open to taking all types of questions like that.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, before I let you go, we have some questions we ask everybody, and these are just for fun. Right. So no pressure. When you travel, do you book a window seat or an aisle seat?
Window all the way.
Yeah, just you like the view or you like to sleep?
No, honestly, I worked for an aviation company. I don't like to fly very much. And there's something about looking out the window. I think it's a control thing. Like, oh, look, everything looks fine. I'm all good.
Gotcha.
That calms me. So I've always been a window person.
Okay. That makes sense. What is one thing in your carry-on that you wouldn't travel without?
A phone charger.
Yeah. That's essential.
Yeah.
Can't get far without that for sure.
No.
If you had a free airline pass and a week with nothing else to do, where would you, and let's say you can take the family, where would you and the family go?
Ooh, I love London.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorite cities. And Jessica and I have been there, but I haven't taken the little one. So if I was given that for this week, I would go because it's also amazing during December for Christmas. The entire city's lit up. So I would jump on a plane, head over.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, related question maybe to that. What is one thing you have seen or done on the road that you wish you could go back and experience again with somebody you love?
This was probably 10 years ago. I was on a sales mission and got to go to Oktoberfest in Munich. It was an amazing experience. The scale of just how big it was insane. I would love to experience that with. I mean, I had a good time with the people I was with, but actually taking some people from my personal life would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us.
Brian, I really appreciate it, man.
Well, I sure hope you enjoyed that conversation with Dan as much as I did. You know, one of the things I really appreciate about Dan is that he brings such a positivity to discussions about an area of technology that can be confusing and maybe even mystifying or terrifying to many of us. So I really appreciate his perspective on these issues and frankly, his optimism, because I agree. I think there is a lot to be optimistic about. Now, I want to take a minute and hit a few of the highlights of things that Dan said, just to make sure you don't miss them. When we were talking about how much artificial intelligence has grown in the last 3 years, Dan said, it's moved faster than any other technology we've seen in the past. You can't wait on this stuff because it's moving faster than anything we've ever seen. He said it's been an incredible 3 years, and it's the worst it's ever going to be right now. You know, I agree with Dan. It is pretty staggering how far AI has come in 3 years, and more than that, how quickly the public has adopted it. And listen, you may be someone who says, you know, I don't use AI. I don't think it has many applications for me. I want to resist the robot overlords that might be trying to take over our civilization. Well, I'll tell you, it doesn't really matter whether you use it or what you think about it. What should be compelling to you is just how quickly the rest of the world seems to have adopted it. Whether you like AI or not, it is a reality of the world we live in. It's not going anywhere. And if you bury your head in the sand, you may be missing some big opportunities. Now, along those lines, when I asked Dan how AI can impact travel companies, he had a great example. He said, it's as simple as putting a conversational AI platform to answer questions on your website. And then as you go on, when people ask you questions, the platform gets better and better. He said on its first day, it's one of the best employees you have from a customer service basis. I love this example, especially for organizations that have a large library of content. Lots of tour itineraries, lots of FAQs, lots of know before you go, packing list, rules, policies, and procedures. The more of this information you have, the more of it you can share with an AI tool and use it to answer your customers' questions. I also believe that the more accustomed people get to being able to get quick and personalized answers to their questions, the more they're going to demand that from the companies they do business with. So if you don't have the kinds of tools that allow people to ask questions in natural language and get a response that is easy and readable and instant, you may find yourself losing business to your competitors who have deployed those tools. And finally, when I asked Dan about how AI might affect small travel companies, he said, for a small tour operator or entrepreneur, it actually gives you opportunities. It democratizes scale. We're seeing more solo entrepreneurs build companies that they couldn't build in that time frame right now, becoming millionaires because they can use AI to build all these things. He said they don't have to have the cash flow to hire all those people to do it. It makes 2, 3, 5, or 6 people operate as if they had 18, 20, or 25 people. Now, to me, this is the most exciting thing about AI. When people ask me what I see happening with AI and how I see it impacting tourism especially, this is what I tell them. I'm not so worried about AI taking people's jobs in tourism. What I'm excited about is that AI could give a lot of small-time operations the opportunity to scale up big time without spending a lot of money. The smartest people I know in tourism are using artificial intelligence to extend the capabilities of what they can do business better, do business smarter, and not have to work harder. If you are a travel entrepreneur, maybe a small business owner, that's an opportunity you need to take seriously. Great stuff there from Dan Flores. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And hey, whether you agree with Dan and me about AI or not, I would sure love to hear from you. You can send your thoughts, questions, or the tasks you wish AI would automate for you to podcast@grouptravelleader.com. I read every email that comes into that account. I really do love hearing from you. And hey, you never know. Your ideas might just be the inspiration for a future episode of Gather and Go. And hey, while you're in the mood to give us some feedback, would you do me a big favor? Would you go to your favorite podcast playing app? And if you haven't already subscribed to the show, then do that while you're there. If you could also give us a rating and leave us a review, that would be super helpful. I'm so thankful to everyone who has done that so far. My thanks as well to Dan Flores for joining us today. Next week, we have a special episode of Gather and Go for you that's going to give you an exciting look inside some of Germany's most historic cities. These are destinations that our staff and I have visited firsthand. They are utterly charming. Cannot wait to share them with you, especially as we get closer to the Christmas holiday. Until then, though, remember this. At the end of the day, we are all on this trip together, so let's make it a good one. I'll see you next time on Gather and Go. Gather and Go is hosted and executive produced by me, Brian Jewell. Our publisher is Mac Lacey. Our creative team includes Danya Simmons, Ashley Ricks, and Rachel Crick. Our sales team is Talisa Reck and Ashley DeLucia. To advertise on the podcast, call Talisa at 859-253-0455. Gather and Go is a production of the Group Travel Leader. For more information on our podcast, magazines, and events, visit us online at grouptravelleader.com.